Everyone that I know that has lost their child has, they've done different things to deal with it. I started Drug Crisis in Our Backyard. That's what I did.
Which is?
We're a community action organization. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We advocate for families that are struggling with it, and we talk to families that have just lost their kids. I am always busy. And so it's, when you're always busy, there's less time to sit and feel. So I keep myself very busy.
If I can help one person, if I can help one mother understand it better and get to a better place, or one parent get to a better place of understanding so they can assist their addict better and to continue to love them and not shut them out of their lives, because they need that love too.
Yesterday I met with a mother. 3 years ago she lost her son, and her life has been on hold. She doesn't know how to move forward. So we do recovery coaching. So yesterday I talked to her about, we're going to take this one step at a time, and I made a list for her, with her, of things that she could do today to start. And so now when I leave here, I will text her and ask her how she's doing.
I think you can talk to yourself and justify why it happened, but there's always questions of why. You know, why him and not somebody else? And I think your heart has to go through it.
I would say maintaining and strengthening your contact and your bonds with other people is absolutely essential. I've seen people get isolated. I've seen people say they will get involved in a grief group, but not yet, you know, or they don't want to come to a get-together because it's near the holidays and they're too, you know, they're too buried in their own whatever. And these aren't people that are newly bereaved. So I think that's a mistake. I think they need to get more involved with other people.
Oh, absolutely. I think that even through addiction when they're alive, I think connecting with other people that are going through it is important, because you don't feel alone, or there's somebody that can give you some advice or some validation that what you're doing or what you're going through is important and real. But in the grief, it's been, you find out who's really important to you and who you're really important to, for sure. Every single day I talk to him. Either it's a picture in the house or a picture on my visor when I bring my sun visor down, you know, and I say good morning and hello sunshine, and I ask him if it's difficult to find a job where he is. Things like I would ask him, you know, and how is he today, and hope that he is in a much better place than we are.
I have written him a lot of letters. I have spoken to him and do speak to him all the time. The only mantras I have, and I need to think about that more, one of the mantras I have is, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. Because, you know, how do you go on without that? You know, how do you even get up and go anywhere if things are not going to be okay? It took me a long time to come around to saying that after he died. So I don't always believe it, but I try to use it in my life as best I can.
I totally rock at coping, so I don't know if that's a good thing, because then people overestimate. They may overestimate my strength or underestimate my needs, and occasionally that leads to a big meltdown. So I guess just let people know, you know, that you're vulnerable. Well, it's important because sometimes they may be insensitive otherwise. Like they may go on and on about something, and if they don't realize that you've actually lost someone, then they've really put their foot in their mouth. I mean, I had this one woman, I was at this one gathering, she was going on and on about how horrible it was that her son didn't come home on time the night before and how destroyed she was. And then when he came through the door, of course, she was relieved, and you know, I listened to it nicely, and then about a half hour later it was revived again, and about the 5th time I just wanted to scream. There were a lot of years where I, you know, was constantly afraid whenever he was out of my sight that he wouldn't come home. So I think it's important for people to realize that you never know who's around you and what they're going through.
I'm envious of other people's lives going on, you know, when you see that going on. And so in social situations, you know, people talking about their kids, or, you know, very innocently, not meaning anything, you know, just sometimes I feel, I don't know, angry isn't really the right word, but it's more internal.
I know the farther I get out, because it's been about 1.5 years, I can talk about it now, where even probably 6 months ago, you know, I couldn't control the sadness, the crying, you know, and it's like, wow, I thought I'd be able to handle this, and I couldn't. Where now I can talk a little bit more about it.
If I'm focusing on the guilt, I cannot focus on the loss. And so I'm focusing on the guilt, it's really about me. You know, it's about me. And when I'm focusing on the loss, it's about the loss. It's about being separated from my son, not being able to see him, not being able to hold him, not having a future. Those things are the loss. And when I'm in the regret, in the guilt in particular, in the guilt and regret, all the things I did wrong, then I'm focused on myself, and I'm focused on what a terrible mother I was. And I don't focus on the wonderful things I did, like read to him every night, read The Hobbit with him, you know, things like that. I'm focused on everything I did wrong. But when I let go of that, and it's truly about letting go and letting God, and, you know, really about the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I cannot change the loss of my son. Then I can miss him.
There is light at the end of the tunnel, I think, for most parents that are going through this.
Put one foot in front of the other, and we'll get there somehow, where we're supposed to go. Way will open.